Hello and welcome everyone. In today's episode, we are going to understand what is Kaggle and take a high-level look at the various aspects and sections of it. If you are new to our channel, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. This really helps support the channel. So without further ado, let's begin. Kaggle is an online community of data scientists and machine learning practitioners. It allows users to find and publish datasets, explore and build models in a web-based data science environment, work with other data scientists and machine learning engineers in a collaborative manner, and enter competitions to solve data science challenges. Now let's take a quick look at Kaggle's website, kaggle.com. As you can see, it has mainly 5 sections defined at the top: compete, datasets, notebooks, discuss, and courses. We will take a look at each of them later in this video. In the right, of course, you have the sign in if you already have an account, or you can register yourself to Kaggle. Kaggle is actually a subsidiary of Google LLC, so definitely you can register with your existing Google account, register with your Gmail. So inside Kaggle, you will find all the code and data you need to do your data science work. Use over 50,000 public datasets and over 400,000 public notebooks to conquer any analysis in no time. Also, as you go down, you can see different datasets here, CSV datasets with 50 upvotes, JSON dataset with 68, and so on, right? If we go down a little more, you see Kaggle's Learn platform, the various competitions that are there, Titanic, housing prices, and so on. Down below, we have a video explaining to you what's Kaggle, and you can actually click this and be redirected to Kaggle's YouTube video channel, which I'll also mention in a link below in the description. So then they ask you to join the community of over 3 million as on date we are producing this video. You can register with Google again. So all in all, that's how the interface of Kaggle looks. Here also you have many more sections such as jobs, user rankings, tags, blog documentation, and so on. So as discussed, these are the main sections in Kaggle: competition, notebooks, dataset, discussion, and courses. Let's now dive into each of these sections to figure out what they represent. To start with, we'll dive directly into competition. So competitions are something that Kaggle is famous for. There are various competitions hosted on Kaggle where you can grow your data science skills by competing in those exciting competitions. There are different types and formats of competitions, and we'll also explain how can you join these competitions, right? So let's dive in and see what are the different types of competitions that are there. As you can see, these are the various different types of competitions that are there, namely the featured, research, getting started, playground, recruitment, and annual. So if we take a look at the different competitions that are here, you can see all the active competitions, the completed ones, and the in-class ones, right? And different categories and the sorting that you can apply on these. So as you can see, these are called out as featured, research, and going down, you can also have playground and these different types of competitions that we just spoke about. You can also see the prize money or the overall amount that is being showcased here on the right. So after the types of competitions, we will now take a look at what are the different formats of competition. In addition to the different categories of competitions such as featured, there are also a handful of different formats competitions are run in. The first of them is simple competitions. These are competitions which follow the standard Kaggle format. In a simple competitions, users can access the complete dataset at the beginning of the competition after accepting the competition's rules. As a competitor, you will download the data, build models on it locally or in notebooks, generate a prediction file, then upload your predictions as a submission on Kaggle. By far, most competitions on Kaggle follow this format. An example of a simple competition is the Porto Seguro Safe Driver Prediction Competition. Moving on to two-stage competitions. In two-stage competitions, the challenge is split in 2 parts, stage 1 and stage 2, with the second stage building on the results the teams achieve
in the stage 1. One example of such a competition is the Nature Conservancy Fisheries Monitoring Competition. And the third one is code competitions. Some competitions are code competitions. In these, all submissions are made from inside of a Kaggle's notebook, and it is not possible to upload submissions to the competition directly. An example of a code competition is Quora Insincere Questions classification. Now let's take a look at how to join a competition. So Kaggle runs a variety of different kinds of competitions, each featuring problems from different domains and having different difficulties. Before you start, navigate to the competitions listing. It lists all of the currently active competitions. If you click on a specific competition in the listing, you will go to the competition's homepage. The first and very important element worth calling out is the Rules tab. This contains the rules that govern your participation in the sponsor's competition. You must accept the competition's rules before downloading the data or making any submissions. It is extremely important to read the rules before you start. This is doubly true if you are a new user. Users who do not abide by the rules may have their submissions invalidated at the end of the competition or banned from the platform. So please make sure to read and understand the rules before choosing to participate. The next is forming a team. Everyone that competes in a competition does so as a team. A team is a group of one or more users who collaborate on the competition. Joining a team of other users around the same level as you are in machine learning is a great way to learn new things. Combine your different approaches and generally improve your overall score. When you accept the rules and join a competition, you automatically do so as part of a new team consisting solely of yourself. You can then adjust your team's settings in various ways by visiting the Team tab on the competition page. And finally, making a submission. You will need to submit your model predictions in order to receive a score and a leaderboard position in a competition. How you go about doing so depends on the format of the competition. Either way, remember that your team is limited to a certain number of submissions per day. This number is 5 on average, but varies from competition to competition. So now that we have got an overall idea of what competitions are, let's move quickly to understanding about the notebooks at a very high level. You can explore and run machine learning code with Kaggle Notebooks. It's a cloud computational environment that enables reproducible and collaborative analysis. With Kaggle's Notebook, you get an in-browser environment where you can run machine learning and data science codes without the need to set up a data science environment in your local machine. Now let's take a look at what are the different types of notebooks that are available there. There are mainly two different types of notebooks on Kaggle. The first one is scripts. Scripts are files that execute everything as code sequentially. And the other type is Jupyter notebooks, usually just notebooks. Jupyter notebooks consist of a sequence of cells where each cell is formatted in either Markdown or in a programming language of your choice. So if we go on the notebook section, we can see all the notebooks that have already been published. You can go and upvote these public notebooks and then they appear under your favorites, right? And then obviously there's this tab where you can see your own work. Now let's see these two types of notebooks in action. If you create a new notebook, a new session is started, right? As you can see, if you go on File and the Editor type, you can see the two options that we just spoke about. Right now it's a Jupyter notebook, but if you click on Script, this will change into a script. So now let's come back and take a look at how to use the notebook editors. Kaggle notebooks may be created and edited via the notebook editor. On larger screens, the notebook editor consists of three parts: an editing window, a console, and a settings window. Whether you use scripts or notebooks might depend on your choice of language and what your use case is. R users tend to prefer the scripts, while Python users prefer the notebooks. For more on why that is, refer to the types of notebook section in the documentation. Scripts are also favored for making competition submissions where the code is the focus, whereas notebooks are popular for sharing EDAs or exploratory data analysis, tutorials, and other share-worthy insights. Now let's take a look at how to collaborate on notebooks. Notebooks collaboration is a powerful feature. It allows multiple users to co-own and edit a notebook. For example, you can work with competition teammates to iterate on a model or collaborate with classmates on a data science project. Now let's come back and take a detailed look at datasets. So we will take a very high level look at what are the different types of dataset, how to create datasets, and how to collaborate on datasets. First, let's look at the different types of datasets that are there. As you can see, there are various different kinds of datasets: CSV, JSON, SQLite, archives, BigQuery, and others. So as we visit the dataset section, you can see you can go ahead and create the public dataset by clicking this button or clicking the plus new dataset here, and these are the various public datasets that are available here. You can see the time that they were accessed last and the size, and also here it tells you that how many files are there and what's the format, like whether it's a CSV or going down you can see that this has one file which is a JSON, right? So that's how the dataset section looks like. So let's now take a look at how to create a dataset. As we already saw in the previous clip, it's easy to create a dataset on Kaggle, and doing so is a great way to start a data science portfolio, share reproducible research, or work with collaborators on a project for work or school. You have the option to create private datasets to work solo or with invited collaborators, or publish a dataset publicly to Kaggle for anyone to view, download, and analyze. Important sections to look out for in the Kaggle documentation while creating a dataset are navigating the dataset interface, creating datasets from connectors, and updating datasets using JSON configuration. Now let's take a quick look on collaborating on datasets. So dataset collaboration is a powerful feature. It allows multiple users to co-own and co-maintain a private or publicly shared dataset. For example, you can invite collaborators to view and edit a private dataset to work together on preparing it before changing its visibility to public. There are two ways to collaborate: inviting collaborators and using notebooks with dataset collaborators. So let us now move to the discuss section. As you can see in the site forum, there is various sections like Kaggle forum, getting started, product feedback, question and answers, datasets, and learn. In Kaggle forum, it's about the events and topics specific to the community. Getting started, the first stop for new Kagglers. Product feedback is where you tell what you love, hate, and wish for. Question and answer section is for technical advice from other data scientists. Then there's datasets where you can request for discussion on open data. And of course, there's the final section on learn, where you can ask questions, get answers, and request related to Kaggle's data learning courses. So that's what the discussion section looks like. So now let us move to the last section, which is courses. So the courses section is where you gain the skills you need to do independent data science projects. These courses are free and not lengthy at all. They are very hands-on and easily approachable. The good part is that you can now earn free certifications by completing these courses. The various courses that are offered on Kaggle are Python, Intro to Machine Learning, Intermediate Machine Learning, Data Visualization, Pandas, Feature Engineering, Deep Learning, Intro to SQL, Advanced SQL, Geospatial Analysis, Micro Challenges, Machine Learning Explainability, Natural Language Processing, Intro to Game, AI and Reinforcement Learning, and Data Cleaning. So these are a fantastic way to jumpstart your data science learning, and I will highly recommend them. Now that we are done with the main sections of Kaggle, let's take a quick look at some more important topics such as the progression systems, the categories of expertise, performance tiers, and medals. Kaggle's progression system uses performance tiers to track your growth as a data scientist on Kaggle. Along the way, you'll earn medals for your achievements and compete for data science glory on live leaderboards.
Now, there are different categories of expertise in Kaggle. Those are the very same that we discussed earlier: competitions, notebooks, data sets, and discussion. Now, alongside all those categories, you have performance tiers in Kaggle. Those are novice, contributor, expert, master, and grandmaster. So you can have all these different performance tiers across all the categories of data sets, notebooks, discussion, and competition that we discussed earlier.
Now let's understand how the medals work in terms of a competition. You can earn bronze, silver, or gold medals based on your position in the top 40, 20, or 10% of all teams participating, based on what are the number of teams that are participating on a particular competition. It could be 0 to 99 teams, 100 to 249, 250 to 999, and 1000 plus teams. If you just pause the screen and take a look at this chart, you'll be able to understand how the medals for competitions work. Moving on, here the chart explains how the medals will work in terms of data sets, notebooks, and discussions. It depends on the different votes that you get for each of these sections. But please note, not all upvotes count towards medals. Votes by novices and votes on old posts are excluded often from medals calculations. So at the end, there are some additional sections in Kaggle such as jobs, user ranking, blogs, documentation, progression, support and contact, and so on. In the job section, if you are a hiring manager for data scientists, you can go and create a job listing, or if you're a job seeker as a data scientist, you can browse the data scientist jobs that are already posted in this section. So that was an introduction or an overview to what Kaggle is. Now go ahead, register yourself, start competing in different competitions, explore various data sets that are there, learn from different notebooks and start contributing, discuss different aspects with like-minded data scientists and collaborate and learn from them, and also make the most of the micro courses that are there on Kaggle. I hope this was helpful.
So that brings us to the conclusion of this episode. If you like the content that we bring to you and this is in any way helpful towards your artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science journey, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This really helps and motivates us to bring in more meaningful and helpful content for you. Thanks a lot. Keep watching.